Hi everyone, welcome back. It is indeed another trucking day, another beautiful Monday of trucking. Yeah, we don't have any crazy plans, the same old pretty much. We'll chat a bunch, we'll ship some stuff, and hopefully not get in trouble with the bank because I have loans to pay. We'll talk more about that once we actually get into the game. I have some interesting updates on the second vehicle I bought for my employee. It's not going great. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that. You know, it's kind of funny how, like, intensely upbeat this music is considering, like, what it's leading into. Like, we're just going to be driving a truck for, like, 2 hours. You know, it works. It works. Hello. Oh, truck. We're trucking. Woohoo. I love trucking. Let me go through the list. Hello, Thermia. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Trigam. Hello, Ivy. Welcome. Bought Jura Truck Simulator a few days ago, actually. Big investments. Very big investments. Good idea. I just got a collaboration invitation from Mia. I wasn't planning on doing one today. And also, of all of us so far, I think your connections to my lobbies have been the most unreliable, so I don't know. It is such a clickable button. Can bird crash into you? Smile, you would ask this. Bird sit in 2. Oh god. I remember. Interestingly, my KDE plasma gesture for like seeing all of the windows on my desktop just doesn't work right now. It hasn't worked for the past 2 days, and I've not figured out why yet. So I kind of want to see if I can figure that out, because that was actually a really handy feature. I'm not going to spend too long trying to figure that out. I'm really just curious, because I just tried to do it again, and it did not work. It's very strange. And frankly, I don't know where the option is. Yep, completely lost on me. Oh well. There's touchscreen gestures, but that's different. Nix breaks this. I'm sure Nix breaks this. It's a reasonable assumption. Nix breaks everything. Nix killed my grandma, okay? Alright, we're getting straight into it. We don't really have anything to dilly-dally about, so we can just go like straight into the gaming, into the jaming. My inputs might be slightly busted, because I did play a little bit off camera using controller. Didn't feel like pulling out the whole wheel. But that might have messed up some of my controls. For example, Steam input controller, yeah, no. Options. Dreamforce GT. Let's see, does it remember my binds? That doesn't look great. Yeah. Joy missing. Yeah, alright. Control wizard it is. That's really annoying. Real automatic. Okay. Advanced setup. That's working. Steering works. Brake axis is not bound. Now it is bound. It's so stupid that I have to do that, honestly. Good grief. Shift up and down. That does work as expected. I've probably got some other binds that like aren't set correctly, but this is like the majority. Be really nice if I could set up like proper profiles for this, but unfortunately we don't get that. Hazard warning. Is that not usually... Yeah, that should be hazard. My lights, light modes, this one. High beam headlights would be this, holding that button. Horn would be this. The light horn? Air horn is this. I think light horn is... Oh, that's for flashing the high beams. We'll do that button. Cool, I think that's what already was. Beacon, I don't know what that is. Differential lock, I just don't use. Yeah, I don't know what that does, so I'm just gonna ignore it. We don't need to use cruise control, so I'm not gonna bother. The rest of this should be okay.
It's time to drink water.
Indeed it is. This is true. It is time to drink water. Sarah, thank you so much for 2 months. I am having a very good day. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. The oh so joyous button 3. Which one's button 3? Oh, hazard warning. Yeah, of course. It is time to drink water. If you have water with you, you should drink it. And if you don't have water with you, you should go get some, because water is good for you. It's crazy seeing all the people on like massive stream streaks right now. I appreciate it. I really do. Alright, where was I? I think when I was off cam, I think I had just like dropped myself off at Amsterdam. Yeah, let me get on to that whole story with the other truck. That thing is pissing me off so fucking much. Oh, apparently I'm sleepy. Well, that's good to know. Tell you what, let's go truck manager. So this Renault Premium High Roof, this old fucking beater I bought off the used market, it was literally the cheapest thing available, right? This thing has been an absolute nightmare. I hate it so much. I'm going to show you why it is such a fucking nightmare. So first let's, I don't have my buttons to start the engine. One sec. Engine... switch right? Oh, I guess that's a standard control on, like, controllers. You know what? I might keep that, actually, because I barely use the hat buttons for anything. Did I have anything set for map, actually? Because I did have that to select, but... I might want to change that. World map. Yeah, it's not really bound at all. Honestly, it's easier to hit M on my keyboard, so I'm just going to do that. So... Let's start here. Wait, what? Why am I on this camera now? Oh, that's bound on my indicators by default. I kind of don't like that. Why are we this view now? Hold on. Okay. I tap the button. That does that. Oh, interpreted that as pressing up. Okay, that's fine. Real quick, we are going to rest stop. And I realized I could literally just pull back in, actually. I don't need to do this nonsense. This thing just sounds unhealthy. Hello, Rin. Alright. I'll quickly sleep this off real quick, so it stops bitching at me. I don't want to manage the garage. I would like to sleep, actually. How do I sleep? Where is the option to sleep? I don't get it. Maybe I have to, like, go over here and this is the rest stop? Maybe. Okay. Okay, actually, you know what? I am just going to fucking go here. I'm in the EU now. I've been in the UK for too long. I'm going to rebind my indicators because that is a horrible bind on this wheel. The D-pad on here is like a little too sensitive and it's becoming a massive pain in the ass. The rest of the binds are fine though. I like the indicator click. It's a nice clicky indicator. I appreciate that. The rest of it, pain in the ass. I did turn off road offenses. I could just go. What does the indicator do? We've spotted a BMW driver in chat, everyone. Actually, I'm going to keep going this way because there is a rest stop at maintenance, which is what I want to get to. Jesus Christ. Don't mind me. I just way overdid it. Thank you. Oh, that was so close. Okay, cool. That should... Yeah. Oh, there isn't... That button's not bound. Interesting. Alright. So... Here's my problem. So I've spent quite a bit of money trying to repair this thing, right? You can see I'm still kind of broke. I have so far replaced shitloads of components, except for the cabin, because I'm like, okay, well, the cabin isn't really a functional component as much as like the engine and the transmission and the chassis and stuff. Like, that should be okay. And the truck is only 4% damaged. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Except it fucking isn't, because if I now go into here, excessive vehicle wear, visit service for diagnostics. I can't zoom into that properly. Here we are. Excessive vehicle wear, visit service for diagnostics. It literally says 0. 0% on everything. It's just 20% wear on the cabin. So I now need to replace the cabin, which is, if I go into here, that's going to cost 42,000 euro. So, like, do I just trade this in or something? I don't know what to do with this. All my trucks have that. I don't know how to get rid of it. So the problem, though, is, like, I've done all of this work. I have hoarded out money from this thing. And my guy still won't fucking drive it because it is still classed as a broken vehicle. It just will not take. And that is incredibly frustrating. You can replace your cabin with a cheaper one? Maybe? Does it work that way? Oh, right. I can't just go to the dealer. Maybe if I go to maintenance, they'll give you the option to swap out the cabin. I don't want to pay 48 fucking grand for it, though. Like, that's obscene. Oh, no, not service. It's truck configurator. Yeah. Let's see. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Fine. Are we done? Are we actually done? Is it gonna, like, stop complaining now? Oh, I gotta reverse. And then go back onto it. Well, there we go. I basically just flipped a cheap-ass Renault truck. It is now... it's now a 4-star vehicle. With 909,000 kilometers mileage. Alright, whatever. It works. It works now. It is a functioning vehicle, and now my driver can actually fucking use it. And, like, get the hell to work. By the way, I just paid that dude's wage again. That's what really frustrates me. And yeah, let me guess, I'm overdrafted now. Yep. I was worried about that. So we are officially in debt. So now I need to very quickly get my trailer managed. Get my trailer hooked up. And now I need to take on a cargo job. Oh, hi, Julia. Hello. Welcome, welcome. 9 tons of fireworks? Fuck it, why not? For fun. Right. Whoops, that's not the right button. Alright, here we go. Joint stream in debt. It happens. It happens. On the upside, that stupid fucking secondhand truck is now drivable, and I swear to Christ, if my guy doesn't use it, I am going to find his family at this stage. That's the point we're at right now. No, not that button. That button. There we are. It's this like a weird hybrid of the regular like joypad controller controls or joypad controller binds and what I'm used to on my wheel. So it's a little bit confusing, but I'm getting used to it. The only reason I'm even adapting to regular controller binds is because I would like to... I'm just fucking not bothered, to be honest. I would like to be able to play this game a bit more portably, like on my Steam Deck and stuff, and getting used to the joypad controls is like a pretty standard thing I'd want to get used to for that. Do you think being in debt feels good for the single mother or whatever I said? That's horrible. Oh my god. Hope what you're planning to do to his family is treat them to a very nice dinner to help convince them to drive. Sure. Sure. Why not? Hold on, there's another bind I'm not a fan of. Or rather a lacking bind. Where's enter? One of these is enter. Return, that's take picture, no? Activate. And fuck, we'll just do this as well. I just want to talk to him. Cool. And we'll just... Oh yeah, I forgot to just do that. I don't get penalized for skipping the loading of cargo. So many joyous buttons, indeed. It makes me so happy. And we're good. Let's pull out here. Wonderful. We're back on the road. And hopefully we don't overdraft anymore, because that would be very bad. This should handily cover us, though. We have... oh, actually, fun fact. We have 2 loans now. Unfortunately, if I go into the bank, yeah, I am now paying off 2 loans. Because I had to cover the stupid fucking repair costs for that stupid truck. So I'm going to be paying this off for a little while, I think. But thankfully, the amounts that I owe per day is like still quite a bit under what I typically make by just doing my normal deliveries. So I should be fine long term. Everything should be fine. We can be trusted to behave while being responsible for lots of cargo in a very expensive heavy machine. Always, of course. Like, there's a question. Uh-oh. I love how they just kept going. Like, yeah, whatever. This truck just pulled out. We have ample time to at least slow down. Nah. Nah. Fuck it out. Anyways. Now that we've thankfully not had our cabin smashed into, my truck... Wait, did I repair this at some point? I think I did. My truck a little while ago had more damage than this other guy's fucking truck does. That guy's truck is actually in much better condition because I've got some pretty significant vehicle wear on my wheels, I've noticed. I can understand how I might have wear on my wheels, though, given, you know, how we drive is what it is. Would you hire chats to drive for you? You know, that would be an interesting stream if I, like... Oh, man, it would not be real time at all. It would be so busted. But if I could, like, give chat, like, commands that would basically emulate a DirectX controller or something, and that way chat can just drive for me, that'd be crazy. Just leave that up on, like, outside of my streaming hours. The game will just, like, idly run, and people in chat can just drive the thing. It'd be so good. It's like in the same way that, like, NASA pilots their space probes with like minutes worth of latency, but it's for a truck on roads in a Twitch live stream. I'm gonna get you into so much debt. On second thoughts, I might want a different save file for that particular venture. Just occurred to me. That would be funny though. Twitch plays Euro Truck, fire. Actually incredible. What actually triggers you getting fined for speeding? Currently nothing, because I've actually disabled that now. Because it was annoying me too much and I was losing a lot of money to fines. Generally speaking though, getting caught by speed cameras or just any police car driving within range to see you speeding. That's generally how it works. I think the point when I finally turned it off was like an extremely bullshit occasion where I was under the speed limit, but I had just, like, not even for a full second transferred into like a different speed limit zone, and police immediately fined me for going over it. I was not a fan of that one, so now I just don't let them fine me at all. Yeah, it's another project for the pile. Huge. Gotta be plaything. Horrible. So far, I've just been incredibly paranoid about being even a tad over the speed limit. Yeah, happens. But you see, we're in debt to the bank, which is worse. So I'm prioritizing. That is how we roll. Oh, yeah, I'll slow down a tiny bit there. Is a little close to the wall for comfort. We are thankfully well rested and well fueled before this journey. We're not going that far anyway. We're just going to Duisburg, which is like a pretty standard delivery for us. Driver, what are these overdraft emails I keep getting? Don't worry about it, kitten. Yeah, right. I should just pull my overdraft balance out of my employee's pay, because it's kind of his fault. The truck is perfectly drivable. He just didn't want to do it. These company overdraft expenses are coming out of your paycheck. Wonderful. Yes, punish your driver for not wanting to drive a dangerous vehicle. It was perfectly fine. I was able to drive it. I didn't do a full delivery on it, but it's drivable. You're gonna have to move out of the way. Yeah, you're gonna have to move out of the way. Sorry, I was here first. As evidenced by the fact that I was slightly ahead of you. I'm just gonna, like... This is fine, right? Oh boy, this is good road use. The massive caved-in areas and gaping hole in the side of the cabin aren't that big a deal. Visually, it passed the inspection. She's using the bird bypass lane. Indeed, indeed. Are speed limits on UK motorways on this game 112 kilometers? I think they're generally 100. Technically not. It's like... Because it's miles per hour. I don't think at any points in the game do they actually say that you're allowed to go over 80. Even if a speed sign says 100, there are different rules for trucks. As I've found. I don't think I've ever been legally allowed to go over 80. For what it's worth. I have maybe a 97 actually. Certainly not over 100. I've never seen that before. to my memory. The law doesn't control you. Exercise your free will. Legally allowed? Maybe. But physically? Oh, physically, yeah. Bet. Yeah, bird doesn't need speed limits. Bird flies. Very different rules apply there. Are there legal speed limits for aircraft, I wonder? Like even commercial aircraft. I feel like the laws of physics are more of a thing there. Because, I mean, you've got air traffic control to make sure you're not, like, in any position to potentially, like, collide with each other. So, like, maybe it's fine to just kind of go whatever speed? Yeah, just whatever. Lol. In California, trucks are limited to 60 on motorways. I'm assuming that's miles per hour, probably. Because, I mean, I'm going a little bit over 60 now, and that doesn't seem that fast for a truck on a motorway. Oh, planes in California are limited to 60 on motorways? Well, I don't imagine planes are on motorways that often. They're usually, like, up in the air. Limit is where you're allowed to break the sound barrier. Imagine exceptions for military planes and whatever. You kind of go as fast as you need to go. Especially if it's a matter of national security. Oh, it's this place again. I remember you. You got the super windy ass entrance with like 2 fucking security gates for some reason. What does this place even do? Deutsche something. What does it say on here? Deutsche Frachthafen, I assume. Very nearly clipping the fences there. Fire. Just showing behind him, no need to wait. True. Do I get fined, I wonder, for just passing the barrier? You don't? Lol. Your tax dollars pay for the road signs. You should be allowed to hit them. That's true. That's true, actually. Put on my tab. Where do you need it? Oh god, over there. I vaguely remember that location as well. You're just giving me the least friendly drop-off points possible, huh? You're lucky I want the XP. Oh, fun fact actually, we are now level 15, which I think makes me eligible for like a whole bunch of like really cool truck upgrades that I wanted to get. Including really nice engine upgrades, so that's exciting. We'll see how that comes to fruition sooner or later, when I have the fucking money to pay for engine upgrades. I think I turned way too much. Yeah, that's all great. Maybe I can do this? Probably not. Shit, yeah. Give it up for level 15! Woohoo! Okay, we'll try that again. Oh shit, no, no, no. This way. Come on, just get in there. Stop complaining. My truck is definitely tipping. Or at least my trailer. Yeah, that's not good. I'll just straighten that out here. Okay. Awkward angle, but we can make it work. You inspired me to get Euro Truck Simulator 2 and its Nordic DLC on the Steam sales. Shame on you. No! I inspired you to get a good game while on sale. Oh no! What a tragedy. Good grief, this particular slope sucks. I think I've got it now, though. Yeah, there we are. Wonderful. Alright, my life is ruined because I spent too much time driving trucks in a video game. Always truck responsibly. It's an alright deal. The cargo deals have not been that great, all things considered. Oh, are my debts settled? Yeah, we're good. Cool. And I got enough to cover me for like 2 days, which is great because I can do like almost like, what was it, 2-3 deliveries every in-game day or something? So like, we're fine. I don't even know what camera view this is. Oh. No. For fuck's sake, this D-pad shit is like not ideal actually. Oh yeah, I can just do that. Maybe I can pay rent with my ETS2 money. The trans femmes yearn for the monotony. I mean, some could argue the world is a little bit too exciting these days. We could do with a break. Oh yeah, speaking of the world being a little bit too exciting, don't worry, I'm not about to get into politics again. I generally try not to. It's very by accident that we start getting into that, but I like to think it's at least not reactionary politics. It's more just level-headed, right? That's what I try to do. But yeah, I've been I've been doing some research in quantum mechanics recently, which sounds like a crazy thing to casually drop, but I assure you I'm very surface level at the moment. Where exactly the curiosity came from, I think a little bit of Outer Wilds. That probably didn't help in terms of quantum stuff, but that's something that's always kind of like interested me. Well, it's interested me in the same way that like all of the other things that I don't know yet interest me, in that they frustrate me by virtue of me not understanding them. I don't like not understanding things, especially when it's like how the world works. So that's what I've been trying to look into. And just from the surface level stuff that I've picked up so far, it is fucking fascinating. Quantum mechanics is a very, very interesting field. I think the one thing that's going to continue to frustrate me is like, I think even when you're like super into the field of study, you still kind of learn that like some things don't make sense. Like as an example, it's the rule of quantum entanglement, isn't it? Where a particle can be in one state, the other state, or both simultaneously until observed, and that's when it like locks in a state. That part I don't like. Now, I think that's a general like feeling among quantum physicists, is they don't like that. A thing should not be in a superposition just does not work with our understanding of just analysis and research and stuff. It's very counterintuitive. But in particular, there's something about the wording that I don't like. Because I'm thinking, okay, what does it mean to be observed? This, I don't think, is a universal... I don't think a feature of a thing is to be observed. And I don't think it would be unique... Like, okay, I'll put it this way. It would seem to me to be very foolish, or maybe even arrogant, to assert that the observation from just a living being, which when you think about it, a living being is just a very large and complex amalgamation of what we would argue are not living beings, For that to observe, whatever observe means depending on the context of that species, a characteristic of the fundamental building blocks of the universe, that shouldn't have an effect on what it does. So I'm like, there has to be some other rationale other than just it's different until we look at it. I don't know, like, is my problem necessarily the way that it's worded? Maybe there is a more, I guess, scientific way of wording it? I don't know. Because, like, on a surface level, that is what happens. We don't really know the state until we observe it, and then we can observe it again later, and it might not necessarily be the same. I'm doing very surface level explanations here just as I say it. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But, yeah, it's weird. Observe doesn't really mean from a sentience level, just that to measure something you have to alter it by measuring it. I guess there's a part of me that wonders, like, yeah, is the process of measuring it in the first place, whatever we are doing to measure a thing, is having an impact on how it acts or how it presents itself? But then again, like, an electron can't know that it's being observed. And unless it was some, like, really weird game being played by the universe, nothing knows it's being observed. The only way that we know we're being observed is because, we've got, again, a very complex series of evolved traits that allow us to perceive things as observing us, humans have come to, like, they've evolved to recognize that when there are two pairs of eyes, or any amount of eyes, looking in their direction, or aimed in their direction, they're probably being observed. If there's a camera pointed at them, they're likely being observed. But electrons don't have that, unless electrons are infinitely more complicated than we thought, in which case, well, there must be more fundamental building blocks to the universe than electrons, like far more complex and intricate. And at that point, we have a whole other problem, which is the universe goes many more layers deep than we could have ever imagined, which would be interesting, but also at a certain point, it starts to feel like Sisyphus' understanding of the universe, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, that's what, like, gets me. It's like, okay, material does not understand it is being watched. It does not understand, period. It doesn't understand it's being measured or observed. So this idea, fucking just blazing past them. This is a 60, by the way. I'm going like 110. The notion of something changing behavior or qualities or traits, whatever, merely through the process of being observed or measured, just seems bizarre to me. And it is. It's so difficult to explain, like, yeah, it's weird and complicated, but, like, in more than just the ways that we conventionally understand it. Either way, I find it a very interesting field, and I am excited to look more into it, because maybe me looking more into it can help me to understand why exactly an electron may act a certain way when it's measured. Another thing that's also, and again, surface level, like I just said, a big thing that seems to take hold in quantum mechanics in the field of research is this idea of electron spin or quantum spin. I don't know how it's, like, what the actual wording for it technically is. I don't know exactly what that means in the context of electrons. Like, are the electrons actually spinning? Because the way that I've heard it described is like, yeah, there's how is it described? Black and white electrons and soft and hard electrons. And this actually has nothing to do with, they call it color and they call it hardness, but I don't think that actually has to necessarily do with properties of, like, I don't think the electron is hard or soft, black or white. I think those are just labels you've given for those spin states. That's something I will hopefully learn more about in the future. But the idea, I think, is like it's color, black or white, determines whether it's spinning positively or negatively, I think, on the x-axis. And then hard and soft is supposed to determine how it's spinning on the z-axis. That's how it's been described to me. So I don't know. Yeah. A lot of crap in quantum mechanics that people misunderstand is just that we use ordinary words for something completely unrelated. So yeah, that's another thing. We don't really have words to quantify a lot of quantum stuff. Or words to describe a lot of quantum stuff. Because it very much kind of flies in the face of a lot of the stuff we've already built. A lot of our understanding of science and the world and everything. Like, yeah, it's not intuitive because our intuition is based on classical physics, which doesn't work that way at all. One thing that does make a lot of sense to me, though, this is one thing that does click in my head, and I find it super cool that it does. I always get a shot of dopamine whenever something just clicks intuitively, in like a new thing that clicks intuitively. This kind of idea. Now, it's not been explicitly communicated to me in this way, but this is how I've been inferring it, and it does match other properties that I've observed with quantum stuff as well. Or rather, other people have observed that I've then heard about. This idea that everything is just like waves. Everything. Be they photons, be they physical, I say physical objects, solid. No, that's not really the right word either. All matter, basically. Yeah, that's probably better. So, yeah, like light, waves. Matter, waves. Sound is actually technically just the vibration of, like, particles in the air. So, like, yeah, also waves. Surf's up, bro. For fuck's sake. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. Because when you think about it, we've already had light described as waves. That's fair enough. I think it's usually it's described as like you have atoms / particles, and then you've got waves, and they're like two separate categories. But I think saying that they're all waves, it takes a little bit more rethinking, but it does actually make sense, and it's more consistent, I feel, rather than saying, well, there's these two categories of essential building blocks in the universe, and that's how it is. Makes a little less sense than, oh, well, there's this one building block, and it's a universal, like, foundation for everything. That, to me, clicks a little bit better. So, as an example, for lights, it should be pretty intuitive because, again, that's how it's always been described. It's waves. But for things like matter, like two objects pressing against each other, let's say you've got two bricks, they're the same brick, and you're pushing them together with the same force. If you think of it like, you know, two drops in water, and they're the same, you know, it's the same mass being dropped into the water with the same energy and whatever, those waves should be pretty much identical. And as a result, the waves will cancel each other out. They push against each other, and it nulls out to a net zero overall. And there would instead be disruptions elsewhere. For example, you hit two bricks together, you'll hear through, you know, air displacements, i.e. the sound, you'd hear like the clinking of bricks together. That's fine. But otherwise, the bricks aren't going anywhere. They're just like pressing into each other, and it's not doing anything else. That is basically the constant application of two identical waves resulting in a net zero at the center. The bricks don't move. Similarly, if I were to walk into a wall, I'm going to be pushed back. And, you know, depending on how hard I run into it, that'll either be me just, to our perception, me just stopping in place or me bouncing off the wall. But ultimately, it's the same effect. I walk into the wall. I am not as strong a source of waves as the wall is. So the waves cancel. The waves of the wall cancel out my waves of pressing into it, and I stop. But if I were to run really, really hard through, let's say, a thinner wall, say like a plyboard wall or something like that, there's a possibility that I burst through the wall because I am suddenly... It's not even necessarily that I'm a stronger source of, wow, this is going to be so dodgy, and we're okay, no problem. Not necessarily that I'm a stronger source of waves than the wall, but the wall is probably more brittle than I am. I am a more densely packed collection of like high force waves, high pressure waves, and that ends up, you know, overpowering the wall, shattering the wall, and then I go through it. And that makes a lot of sense to me. That is actually intuitive. Saying that everything in the universe is just waves does make a lot of sense, and I think it makes a lot of other concepts more intuitive. Now, exactly how that translates to things like light energy, well, I don't know. Do we just say it's a different like wavelength of light or something? That's something I haven't given extreme amounts of thought into. That's a good point. I should drink water because I've been yapping a lot about fucking quantum mechanics. Yeah, of course. If you have water with you, you should drink it. If you don't have water, you should go get some because water is good for you. Delightful. Thank you, Julia. It's very important you get water. I'm using chat as a water delay. What was I going to say? Yeah, I haven't given a crazy amount of thought as to how that applies to, you know, lights. Because I think our, well, at least our classical physics understanding is that electrons and photons are two different things. I think the everything is waves theory. Is that string theory, actually? I don't know. Oh, no, you're saying everything is strings. Yeah, I haven't looked into string theory. I've heard of it. That's it. I've not looked into it beyond that. But what was it? Yeah, I haven't looked into how my, you know, everything is waves, including matter theory, applies to things like light waves. Because those, I think, maybe operate differently, but I've not given it a whole lot of thought. They might actually operate the same. It's just what we perceive as the end result is different than what we expect. You know, like if I shine a massive light on a wall, like a really, really bright light, the wall likely isn't going to move, but the light does carry energy in it, which, you know, if it was, I don't know, a wall made of ice or something, might eventually... Actually, the light doesn't necessarily carry the energy, I don't think. It's more the heat from the light source that would end up, like, melting an ice wall. So that's a slightly different story. I do know there was a cool experiment we had done in physics class years and years ago. I forget what this material is, but it's essentially you put it on these little planes mounted onto a very, very like low friction, very small, thin pole. And if you shine a bright enough light on it, it like repels those plates, and it causes the whole mechanism to spin. So, in theory, that light can induce motion. Motion is energy, which is, in effect, the amplitude of the waves. The higher the amplitude, the more energy, the more things will like move around. In this case, it causes the little apparatus to spin. Light carries energy as well. Yeah, no, I had a feeling that was probably it. The heat probably helps, but I don't think it's like a universal thing. Because I feel like if you held a... well, not a lighter, because that would definitely have heat. It's a flame. But if you... It's heat and light. What would be... okay, yeah, let's say you put like a heating element that's like... you know, not heated up enough to the point where it's like actually glowing. Like it's still, there's no light coming off of it that we can perceive. It's just warm. I'm pretty sure if you held that up to an apparatus like that, it wouldn't move. But that is something also worth testing, because that would answer some very interesting sciencey questions. You can set a tree on fire 100 meters away with lasers, so heat ain't all there is. Yeah, I think they're both parts of the same coin. The way we harness them is different, though. And also, it is worth noting that where Am I even nearly... Okay, wow. I'm just barely able to fit that in. That's good, at least. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's fair to say that where heat is, light is. Where sufficient heat is, light is. And where sufficient light is, heat is. Generally speaking. They are pretty much always together. I think it's more accurate to say that when light is absorbed, it changes energy from light to heat. Because, I mean, you're just shooting photons at something and that excites the atom. Yeah! And that's another thing. Our understanding of atoms is a kind of funny one as well. Like, I do wonder... I need to go over here. What was this? Yeah, our understanding of atoms. We already kind of know. We don't know what an atom looks like necessarily. We've got like incredibly fine microscopes that like help us get an idea of what an atom looks like. But I think the closest we have ever managed to get to perceiving an atom is like a little ball. But I also don't necessarily believe that an atom is just like a ball. Just like we don't know where electrons are exactly, we just define an orbital. And that's only in like one particular model of the atom. That was another thing that like really caught me. Most of the time when we're taught what an atom is, we're actually taught based off of a particular model. I don't remember who the guy's name is that came up with it. But there's actually 2 different models for atoms. And one of them is a lot more wave-like. And I think that's one that applies more to the quantum world as well. But then it also doesn't necessarily explain. It's like, okay, so an atom is all waves, but what does it actually look like if an atom is just waves? It's an interesting one. Magnetism is also fucking crazy. That's taken me quite a while to understand. And one thing that has not helped, because I've been like partly trying to understand magnetism as part of like electrical engineering stuff, because that is an area I've got interest in as well. Magnetism can be pretty fucking important, because the second you're sending electricity down a line, those electrons going through the pipe, those create a magnetic field. And understanding that magnetic field can be pretty useful in a bunch of other applications. The problem is... oh, fuck. That was so close from me hitting that pole, but we're fine. The problem is, very unintuitively, the directions the electrons go is, like, opposite what our, like, older and, like, antiquated understanding of... okay, let me rephrase that. The way that electrons go in a circuit is opposite to what our traditional understanding of electron flow works. So, like, the original assumption was that, oh, well, they'll move from the, like, the negative to the positive terminals on, say, a battery or whatever, right? But that's not how it works. It is rather the electrons are attracted, they're emitted from the positive and they are attracted to the negative. So you could think of, like, positive is the source and negative is the sink for it. If you're a pipe wire nerd, that made a lot of sense to you. But hopefully that makes sense to everyone else as well. They emit from positive and they're, like, sunk into the negative. It's like the negative is sucking in the electrons. It is a current. It is a current flow. And that flow induces a magnetic current, which is really fucking interesting. And man, I wish I had a better understanding on how that works. Also, my headlights were off the entire time. That is fucking crazy. I would have noticed eventually. 3 main models. Someone ought to make 1 main model that combines all 3. Don't excite the string theorist again. You kind of have to break your brain for any of the models. And the absolutely nuts thing right now is that all the theories have specific holes in them. Like, the main 3 are all useful. Funny thing, I'm only aware of 2. I'm assuming we're talking about the atomic models. Yeah, Bohr's atom. I think that's the one that you usually see, where it's like you've got this, like, central core that's got... it's not nucleus. I'm thinking of molecules there, I think. is you've got neutrons and protons in that like core, and then the electrons like orbit around it. I think that's the Bohr's model, but the Bohr's model also just kind of like falls apart under further scrutiny, which is fine, by the way. Something that's also kind of neat about science in general. There's a Kurzgesagt video I was watching recently. I think it's a very new one, actually. Essentially explaining how our understanding of space and just, you know, the cosmos and whatever is kind of like falling apart right now. In light of like newer information that we've received from probes we have sent out to space. Like, it's just kind of falling apart, but rather than being panicked and scared and whatever, people are just like excited. It's like, oh shit, okay, we were wrong. That's slightly annoying because we have to go back to the drawing board, but it also gives us some like really interesting information to chew on. And I do really like that. I admire that as well. I feel like the realization of being wrong is like not that bad, because it's also the realization that you have like so much more interesting information than you thought you had. Sometimes it could be exhausting, don't get me wrong. Like I was saying, you know, Sisyphus' understanding of the universe, right? If we just constantly were like breaking stuff down and finding out it's always more complicated, almost needlessly so, that would eventually get kind of frustrating. But yeah, for something as kind of question marky as, you know, the cosmos, I think that's really neat. That's very cool. And I am excited for astronomers right now. That must be a very cool time. And space is something I'm very interested in, if you couldn't tell by branding. It is a very interesting subject matter for me. I have been very much focused on, I suppose, the terrestrial sciences lately. Mostly just because, you know, it's stuff that I can dick around with today, you know. I can play with electrons. I can manipulate magnetic fields. You know, I can do all that cool shit without having to send an extremely expensive multi-billion, trillion-dollar probe out into space or whatever. But yeah, I've been very focused on those. But yeah, astronomy, both are interesting, I guess. Astrology is a very cool... No, I got it wrong again. Astronomy. Astronomy is a very cool field. The study of space and what the fuck is going on beyond our planet. Yes, not horoscopes. They are both interesting, but for very different reasons. At least in my mind. String 3, for instance, requires at least 10 dimensions. Okay. Yeah, I was just talking in a previous stream how, like, difficult it's been for me to comprehend 4 dimensions. I'm not going to 10 right now. Does she retro my grade to, like, Mercury? That's awful, thank you. Appreciate it. I love how they brake checked me the moment I turned on my lights. That's really funny. This is the thing about good scientists. They get excited by being wrong. Applies to biology as well. Normal person. Oh no, the 2 sexeritos! Scientists, when finding something new, there can be heard vibrating from the next building over. Yeah, that's a thing that's like always griped me as well. At least especially as I've matured, you know, and I've like, you know, I have a slightly better understanding of just the universe, having grown up and learned and stuff like that. But as I've continued to learn, I'm always like, wow, there's just like so many new cool things for me to study and research. And they tell me not just like so many cool applications or so many cool implications and applications, I guess, about the universe around us, but also like the things that I can do within it. Knowledge is power, you know, and it's really cool powers. Like, to be able to just casually say, I can manipulate magnetic fields, sounds fucking crazy until you realize what I'm talking about is literally just wrapping a copper coil around a brick or something and putting power through it. But, like, that is a use case of it, and you can do cool shit with that. One thing I would love to do at some point, I would love to build my own, like, hand crank generator. A turbine, basically. I'd like to just build a turbine, but like very small scale. It is like a hand crank one. Because that's the funny thing. It is that fucking easy to generate power. That is how we generate power for the most part. That whole boiling water thing is to spin a turbine. And then we use the fucking magic of magnetism. We get inductors, is it? And we're just spinning this like copper thing. Can you tell if I've ever built one yet? I'd have a much better understanding when I've actually built one. But you're essentially just spinning copper within a big copper coil, and it induces magnetism. Or sorry, the magnetism between them, that like spinning of the inner elements induces electricity over the coil through magnetism, something like that. There are magnets involved, yes. But it's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah. Being able to understand all that stuff and learning new things is so cool. It's so interesting. And it is very disheartening, especially now, like, I know the reason people are getting frustrated about it. It's not actually about the confusing science. I'm not convinced. The longer I pay attention to this, the less and less convinced I am that this has anything to do with people just being frustrated. It's like, oh, they just keep adding new things. Because no one was complaining about, oh, wow, that's real bad, huh? That's real unfortunate. Good thing I'm not carrying a tanker with flammable materials, right? It's just a curtain cider. Yeah, I don't think it has to do with that, because if you think about it, it's like people weren't getting upset, like by and large, people were not getting upset. There was no culture issue when we landed on the moon, right? Because there was so much interesting science that came out of, putting man on the moon. That was a huge deal, and I think people were, by and large, very excited about it. I think the only, like, when it comes to things like, new genders and just even understanding that intersex is a thing that exists, I don't think people are as frustrated with that. I think people are frustrated with the cultural connotations because cultural reasons. That's a very different problem. It is a culture problem. It is not a science problem, which is unfortunate. Yeah, so it's just the presentation kind of deal. Like, if you just take more level-headed people to discuss this kind of issue, I feel like a lot more people would just be convinced. It's like, yeah, it's all chill. Could a moderator step in for that, please? I'll read it out. Telling people that frogs are hermaphrodites is not a problem. Are they? I actually didn't know that. That is interesting. But there we go. I find that interesting. I don't go, oh my goodness gracious, it's because they're putting shit in the water. The frogs are woke. They're hermaphrodites. That's a word that I've heard means wokey stuff. Like, no, we just go, oh, interesting. Because it is interesting. Science is interesting. Hey, she managed to switch it around to politics despite her intentions. No, that was it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing on the politics note. It was literally, that's just like a broad scope, Science is interesting, and I think we generally do appreciate new science, but when it has weird cultural connotations, that's when it can get scary. Like, if we built up our entire society on, Bohr's atom, right? And now suddenly we have scientists saying, actually, no, it's all waves. Yeah, maybe they would be the ones getting blasted culturally because, it's just not natural. It's just not natural to perceive atoms as anything wave-like. That's just not... It's weird. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncertain about myself and my identity as... something as a being composed of various little ball atom models. Wait, Ari's gay? There's crazy new information coming out right now. But yeah, unfortunately I have, through yapping a shitload, and there I was worried I wouldn't have a whole lot to talk about today. Through yapping a shitload, I have missed a bunch of chat messages, but I do hope there's at least been, like, y'all have been able to engage in interesting conversations without my input. Otherwise, please do let me know if there was anything I missed that I might be interested in reading, because I probably will be. I do think there was probably also controversy around science in the past, though not as much. It's back when it was a lot harder to be vocal about it. Yeah, true. Actually, yeah. I'm sure quantum physicists today get like a bad rap from people who are like super sold on classical science. The difference is it's not so much... Sorry, hold on. I'm so gunked up today. Better. The difference is it's not so much like a cultural issue as it is just... It's for the same reason like mathematicians would get super pissed off with each other, right? Like, it's less, oh, well, this is how we've always done it, and that's how we should always do it. It's more, you know, mathematicians will disagree because, well, logically it does work out in their heads. That's more where the hostility ends up coming from. I feel like in the realm of scientific discovery, it's the same deal. It's like, well, your quantum model doesn't make sense with the foundational understanding that I have. And maybe their foundational understanding is wrong. And that's, you know, it's on the good scientist to understand, to you know, be open to these new ideas and maybe learn something entirely new about the universe. And that's what good science is done. I definitely need my brights on. Cannot see where I'm going. Oxygen reduction reactions are a fundamental building block of chemistry. Oh, hold on. I might want to read the previous message. Very focused on how... Oh, wait, no, I'm going to go even further back. Anecdotal I heard was my German chemistry professor talk about how redox reactions are pronounced redox and not red ox. Very focused on how during the Red Scare that's when that was termed, and how the author had to be insistent it was redox and not red ox. Oh, oxygen reduction reactions. Okay, gotcha. But it's certainly things like that where the presentation of a concept can be turned into a political scare. Yeah, that makes sense. But once again, it's a cultural issue, right? Like, when you think about it, that has very little to do with science. Like, the way it's perceived, like, it's just a name, right? It's just branding at the end of the day. And that has very little to do with the science. That's really just how we choose to perceive it, which is a very different problem altogether. At that point, I mean, at most you're getting into sociology or something. If you really want to, like, care about, you know, other people's perceptions of things. To an extent, part of science is communication, ergo cultural issue. I mean, yeah, that makes some sense. That's another rough area. We humans are not actually that good at communicating. We are, like, one of the best species on Earth to do it, sure. It's one of our, like, landmark features. But we do falter quite a bit. Like, when you think about it, we are a global society, in some sense of the word, and we still don't have a universal, like a properly universal language. And our closest equivalent being, well, I imagine we can agree English is the most universally accepted. Yeah, I'm not going to bother skipping over them. I'm just going to go this way. I think we can agree English is the most common language among humans. At least certainly on the scale, how do I put this? For the humans we are connected with, so, you know, anyone on the internet, for example, there's a decent chance that they speak English, and it's more of an outlier when they don't. Like any English at all. But yeah, even our best bet on a universal language has a lot of fucking flaws. And it takes a very long time for language to evolve in such a way where those problems could be amended. So, like, we're a ways out from being a global society that can effectively communicate with each other. And that's not even including the cultural issues, because culture in of itself it's a part of the language. The culture is the language is the culture in a lot of ways. This is so risky, but we ball. Let's go. That's so illegal. I should not be allowed to drive that way. So yeah, like, we got a lot of work to do. We got so much work to do on that front. And it might not happen in our lifetimes, but I do hope one day we can become a species that can just communicate with each other. And it's like not a huge hassle. You just, you know, say what you mean, and people hopefully get it. Universal language of Yuri. Yeah, universal language of making out. That must work. If you look at language as a tool, we should have multiple languages to speak. True. Yeah, I get that. That's why we have the language of mathematics, right? We have programming languages, which are, while we do use them as intermediate languages to just lay out instructions for computers, they can be very good logic communication languages. It's fairly unambiguous. Part of why English is shoved into this role, it can be super ambiguous, and this allows art. When trying to communicate ideas, this can be really awful. Yeah, I don't... That is a fair point, and with that in mind, yeah, I can subscribe to that. We probably don't have and shouldn't have a universal language for everything. We should have universal standards in a way. So, like, basically, we should be able to put together the building blocks to make the best languages for certain purposes and whatever. We should have that. Where do I need to go for this? Oh god, okay. Oh, hellish. Yeah, you know what, fine. Well, I'm not actually going to do it this way. Language of mathematics. This is called Greek. Real. Oh, wow. You're just going to be awful, aren't you? Yup. All right. We'll try. We'll try. Yeah, no, that's not going to be fun. I'm so off. Oh my god. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Alright. That's fine. That totally would have, like, smashed my wing mirror to pieces if this were a real truck, by the way. But whatever, we ball. Okay. Okay. Where am I? Hold on. Uh-huh. Yeah? I don't think this is the way I necessarily want to go either, I'll be real. You know what? I can make this work. I can make this work. I am now, like, aligned in a way that I want. So I can work from here. If I go out this way... Oh, no, that wasn't nearly good enough. Shit. Okay, you know what? This kind of sucks. Let me try this a different way. Sure. Yeah, if I go this way now, this should work a lot better. Oh, I could have just gone in that way! Fuck! God damn it. That's so annoying. Whatever. We're here now. Okay. Now it should be better. After all of that. I love how I could have just gone straight in that way, but I didn't see the open door. Pain in the ass. We ball. All right, that was actually kind of awful. Forget what I said about it being butter. It was not. Uh-huh, this way. There we go. Good enough. Beautiful. That's horrible. Oh, that is just like right across to somewhere else though. I'll take it. I actually will. Oops. Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Yeah, sorry, I can't remember what I was talking about there. I think it was just like, yeah, communication and stuff. Yeah, we should have different languages for various things. Frankly, I don't even know if English is that good as an art language. We've become quite good at using it as an arts language. But I do wonder, could we do better? I think there are a lot of flaws in that area. Like, English does lend itself to quite a bit of ambiguity, actually. So that's something to think about. Like, we have a bunch of word collisions as well, which I think we could agree that gets in the way of artistic expression. If your words are suddenly ambiguous like that, that's kind of a pain in the ass. And not ideal. Logic languages, again, programming languages are pretty good at this. Mathematics, like math notation, can be pretty good at this. Although that said, if we are to adopt it as a universal language for logic, like that everyone, even the layperson, should be able to understand, it needs to be taught like way more thoroughly. Like, the fact that I've gone into my machine learning module this semester and did not understand half the notation is unacceptable. Like, that just should not be the case. And I don't feel like that's a failing for me, because we had maths modules, but they didn't cover the kind of things that we were covering. So, like, it's kind of busted. Oh, please tell me I didn't just go into the wrong one. I don't know what the difference is there. LKW, PKW? Like, what? Whatever. Game makes me go to the wrong fucking path because it's bored and wants to troll me. Anyways. LKW is truck, PKW is car. Interesting. I'm sure that's shorthand for some German word. The ambiguity can lend itself to poeticism and writing, to be fair, but not exactly wanted in regular speech. See, that's, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you can still be, like, ambiguous to the point of creating mystery in, like, an exciting way, right? Like, you know, a way that actually benefits the art, without the ambiguity that English introduces. Like, contextual languages can be pretty good for this. I've talked about Tokipona being a cool language before. That could be an interesting approach. It would mean the poems are way fucking longer, because of, you know, the nature of Tokipona being a very minimal language. You'll need a lot of words to convey certain things, but it is also very context heavy, which can lend itself well to artful ambiguity. Lastkraftwagen or Personenkraftwagen. Ah, beautiful. I don't really like Tokipona for anything because of how verbose it is. I mean, makes sense, yeah. But again, the verbosity is contextual. Let's say you're introducing a new concept, right? Like, okay, I say a new concept. Yeah, this is a poor example, actually, and you might just be right, but the example I was going to say is, like, you know, there isn't a Tokipona word for cat. There is a Tokipona word for animal. And there are other features which can be described in Tokipona which can further kind of mold this image of the cat. And you describe it, fairly verbosely. You don't just say a cat, you say animal that is so-and-so characteristics. And that's generally how that works. But then from that point, you've kind of established the animal you're referring to. And from that point, you can just say the word for animal. That's at least how I've learned it. So like the word for animal being soeli. And I don't remember the other words I'd used to describe it. I think there's a generally understood, generally agreed upon way for saying cat in Tokipona, because it's not like an uncommon thing to say either. But yeah, once you've established, okay, the soeli you're referring to is a cat, so you can just say soeli. And though you've just said animal, like if I have said to you cat previously, you understand it to be an animal. If I just say the animal, you're not going to go, oh, a monkey? Like, no. You probably get what I'm referring to. I don't like how simple Tokipona is for average discussions. That is fair. That is fair. It would make... Yeah, you kind of almost have to do like this massive preamble just to like lay out your lexicon before you actually start having the conversation. So I can see how that'd be a problem. The autism from the autism feature. I love the emotes. They're great. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, that's not autism. That was creature. The creature from the creature feature. Like, yes, you have everything contextual, but the point of having more words is to just avoid doing that. And I don't see the point of having less words and shoving everything into context. Yeah, first you must create the universe. Tokipona is the sea of languages, and I mean that derogatorily. You know what? I get it. I get it. That makes sense. God, like, none of these deals are particularly good. Only 8 grand? Can't I get like 13 on a really good deal? I get 9 grand. 7 tons of mason jars to France. Sure, whatever. Look at that, though. We do actually have quite a bit of money. Like, we are on the way to greatness here. That's pretty good. It's the assembly of languages. Oh. What would actually count as the assembly of languages? Maybe Tokipona because of how simple the words are, but then I'd wonder what would be the machine code, right? Like, is that just like, at a certain point, is that just like almost like cave languages, you know? Like the proto-languages of old, where you'll just like make a certain sound of grunt and hold up the object you're referring to or something. And now people understand, okay, this particular grunt means rock or whatever. Machine code is LLM embedding. I don't know if we could teach TikTok into the masses. For what it's worth. That is something I've wanted to look into, actually. I mentioned before that I was designing my own... not neural network necessarily. I was designing my own Markov chain, and I was doing it in C, including writing the math stuff from scratch, just as a learning project. In any other case, I would not want to write my own math library, as I have learned. But anyways, what is it? I have wanted to learn how TikToken works, because I hear that's a lot better for embedding just language models in general. My current model just uses like space separated words, but it does require a lot of like data cleaning first, and that it basically like eradicates capitalization, special characters, despite the fact I would like my model to be able to use those. Is TikToken an embedding space? I might have my terminology wrong, so apologies if I do. Lol, that's why we respect red lights, everyone. Is TikTok even an embedding space? Isn't it just the tokenizer, the separation to then be embedded? No? Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. You are likely correct. Can you tell this is not a field I've put that much into? Like, we've basically wrapped up our machine learning module. Like, we're done, but we never did language stuff. We only ever really did classifiers and perceptrons. That was basically all we did. We didn't really get into language models. And I presume a lot of that is because the course material is just a little bit outdated. Did I take a wrong turn? Yes. Yes, I did. I am curious, though, fellows in chat, what do we think would be good languages for these purposes? Because, you know, I've been talking about, you know, learning a new language would be something I'd like to do sooner rather than later. And I'd like to go for versatility first. So I am curious. Which would be the best one for everyday communication? Which would be best for artful communication? And which would be best for logical communication? None, we should just stop communicating. That's fair. That's fair. Just stop fucking talking to each other. Meowing, huge. I did it again. Let me just do this. That's where I want to go. Yeah, we're good. Lojban. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Lojban. I remember I heard of Lojban before Tokipona. Could not remember, but it was like the first conlang I had heard of. And I hear Lojban is like a pretty interesting one. They also have meme numbers, like 42, of course. Yeah, I remember I wanted to look into Lojban, but there wasn't, at least at my surface level glance, not a crazy amount of learning resource for it. But that would be a cool one. I remember I saw it referenced once, and I was like, ooh, this sounds cool. It was early used in the context of, like, computers speaking to each other, like AI systems, so yeah, I'm interested. Where the fuck does this thing need to go? Okay, I'm officially going the wrong way. That's good to know. But, like, where is the right way? Oh, God, it's one of those stupid fucking things. Yeah, sure. All right, hold on. I always got the direction wrong. Nope, didn't pull out enough. Let's try that again. That should be good. Again. Oh, that's risky. Well, we're fine. Sort of. Yeah. Okay, I see the problem. I see the problem. Relax about it. Fucking hell, pain in the ass. Maybe if I do this, maybe this is the better way to go. Oh God, that's fine. That's not. God, I'm even worse off. Okay. Oh, where am I now? Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Here can split and loud and boomer. Yeah, German does have some very interesting words. I do like the language. It's very cool. I believe too many people meme on German only because her long words, when we do have a very few beautiful words for things that need multiple words to be described in other languages. Yeah. I mean, also a lot of German words are just multiple words sandwiched together. You kind of pick your poison in a way. Okay. I'm thinking I adjust to this and then... And then maybe if I just go at this, like, gentler angle. Oh, there we go. That's how it's done. Yeah. Easy peasy. Flow state once again. Butter. Yeah, baby. Beautiful. Means you also have to remember way less to understand a lot, as long as you understand the parts. Yeah. Yeah, German is a nice one. And German is thankfully one that I had actually studied in school, so... Now, it's so rusty, so, like, my pronunciation is okay. I can recognize words, but I definitely don't have, like, a conversational grasp on the language. I just realized that entire pain in the ass, that was collecting the shipments. I could have skipped that. Whatever. And we're back on the road. Fucking Juliet. Right, so yeah, we were having that discussion about German, but I don't know, what we're reclassing that as a general communication, an artful, or a logic language. I feel like math notation can be a pretty great logical language, but I feel like it does falter in a lot of areas. It's kind of difficult to describe. It's also awkwardly contextual depending on how it's written. So like if you're writing like the equation for a curve of some sort, right? Like some polynomial expression. You can write that polynomial expression, but a lot of people will just exclude the y equals part. So you literally just get, you know, x2 minus 1 as a rough example, right? Very simple example. You'll just see x2 minus 1. And like maybe if you've got a decent sense of polynomials, you can go, okay, well that's obviously a polynomial. The implication is that this is supposed to equal y, but like you kind of, I mean, yeah, like with most language, I guess you have to be taught it first. I don't know, maybe that is an okay example. What is it? Sigmoid notation has annoyed me because it can be a pretty great application of for loops in logic, right? But maybe this is the problem I've got. Math notation, I find, lends itself well to, you know, ostensibly functional cases, right? Where your assumed state is, you know, you've got this base foundation state and everything else just like flows through that forever and ever. But in the case of, let's say, if you've got other factors that you've not immediately factored in, that becomes a problem pretty fast. And that's an issue that you would have in functional programming languages. For example, this oh, it's been a while since I've looked into this, so like my terminology is kind of rough. Mutable state is like a thing that functional programming languages kind of forbid, but it's also just not how computers work. You can wrap it around so it works out kind of elegantly, but it does require a fairly different understanding of... Oh, I'm sleepy already? Well, that's not good. All right, after this shipment... Oh, I'm going all the way to France, aren't I? This is going to be fun. Maybe I have time for a nap. 16 hours? I'll get there in 4. Sure, I might not even need the nap. You might be fine. But yeah, that like, it's tricky. Okay, let's say you're writing embedded software, right? A big thing with embedded devices is you've kind of got like this area of memory that you've got memory mapped I/O is what we'd call it, right? So say a button or some LEDs, those are all just bound to bits in your memory, right? So if I write, you know, a 1 somewhere, it turns on a light somewhere. If I read a byte from somewhere, well, that may have been the last entered character on a keyboard or something. And that, I don't think is something that... Ooh, I'm very sleepy. That's not good. Okay, next rest stop is in 1 hour? Sure, but whatever. I don't feel like that is something where a purely functional language lends itself well to, and it really struggles there. I love how functional programming takes the... Oh shit, I just get $2,000 income for my driver? Let's go. Oh, they just leveled up. That's great. You can't see my ticker. Sorry, hold on. Let me actually fix that. This is how Haskell works. Haskell is literally the language that I have tried to, like, understand for this exact problem. And the ultimate, like, resolution that I had at the end of it was just, man, Haskell is just not applicable to a lot of the programming problems that I have. You know, like, I do web stuff and game dev. Neither of those really lend well to functional languages, especially not games. Holy fuck, there is so much mangled state that happens in games. I guess I can do with fuel as well. Yeah, so it's a pretty great logic language in the sphere of mathematics, where kind of all of the state is known and presented to you. But I feel like it kind of fails elsewhere. Let me guess, I have to reverse because the bed is... yeah. I was worried about that. Is that bus looking to pull in? Waiting a while, pal. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. Nailed it. I actually aced the recovery on that. That's huge. I am taking up all of the parking spaces, but that's fine. Loan installments. Only $3,000. Only $3,000. Can you believe it? We're actually so in the green. The game loop itself is just a massive state machine. Yeah. So that's like, to my understanding at least, that's not a thing that you can really quantify in a maths language. It's like really rough. Like say you're playing, you're building a multiplayer game. How the fuck would you in math notation describe your game? Like at a certain point, you're basically like, I don't know, because your game state will be different for every like tick value. So say you've got your variable t. So you run through this sum. T, you know, starts at 0 and then I guess just proceeds infinitely. We'll just say that, right? We're not going to say there's a limit on the t value. And what? This loop is supposed to account for every single possible thing that could happen in your multiplayer game? That's fucked. That's like, there's no way. I would love to see a mathematician try and do that, but I really just don't think that that's a good application for it. I'd be kind of scared of it if I were to see it. If they can find a way to make that elegant, you know what? Fine. I will honestly find that pretty fucking cool, but I very seriously doubt that that's feasible. Math is good for a lot of, like, math notation is applicable to a lot of other logic problems, but I don't think it's really that. Haskell is too perfect for game development. I have strong opinions that game development should happen in shitty languages. Okay. Devil's advocate. I feel like Sodi is kind of right with that assertion as well. I disagree with how it's been worded. It's a little too aggro for my liking, but I do get what Sodi's referring to. So The reason why I kind of agree is because so much of game dev is hacks. There is so much hacky bullshit that happens in the world of game dev that was so ridiculously illegal, I just should not be allowed to drive. Ivy's rubbed off on me too much, I think. But yeah, so much of game development is just hacking shit together. Look at like any large game source code and there's going to be so many fucking hacks in there. Just doing things that you should not really do or be able to do, but you do it anyway because, you know, you need to for your game or whatever. It's kind of nightmarish. I don't think... Like, you can streamline game development, but I don't think you can make game dev elegant. And I don't think game developers are looking for elegance either. You're making a game. You know, it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be elegant. You know, if you're writing tools, you might want elegance, but I don't feel like anyone's asking for elegance in their game engine design, you know? That's not what's important about game dev. And that's another reason why, like, yeah, I don't think math suits game dev, because game dev doesn't suit mathematics. There's lots of mathematical things that apply to it, of course, sure, but, like, you know, I don't think the game could be written in a functional manner. And I don't think it should be. That said, good luck building a game in Haskell, whoever is fucking insane enough to do that. Another thing that's actually confused me, correct me if I'm wrong, we probably have bigger math heads in this chat than I am. Things like we'll just say tuple states, or maybe even like object states or whatever. Okay. And to be clear, sorry, not states, that was the wrong word to use. Okay. Example, I call a function, and it returns not a single variable, but a structure which contains multiple variables. Is there a way to communicate that in math notation? Not really sets, because now we're talking arrays. And also, sets, if I understand it, if I want to return a set, I have to input a set. I can't, like... Basically, the shape of the data, as I understand it, is not mutable. The values are mutable, but I'm not aware of the shape of the data being mutable. Yes, you're saying, yeah, okay, interesting, interesting. I am curious how. Because that's something that's kind of thrown me for a little while. Letter, you space coordinator, you want to drop in and collaborate. Wow. I'm gonna get run over in my own truck. Sets would forbid duplicate values, I believe. Do they? Huh. That rings a bell. Okay, it depends. Oh. Not necessarily, no. Depends entirely how your type system is made. Are you talking about a pure function? Yes. In effect, the way that functions were described to me by my Maths for Computer Science lecturer in year 1 of college, where a function is, in essence, a mapping between one value to a returning value. And then that... I was trying to figure out what language to curse at them in, and then I just gave up. So we're just going to keep going. I thankfully didn't take any damage, which is frankly a modern miracle, but yeah, sure. Overtaking asshole. But yeah, a function mapping from an input to an output, and that mapping itself is immutable for as long as the function remains the same, yeah. If you're in a world of machines where RAM is unlimited and you flip bits, it just means you have a structure type and it gets written to in memory like any other. If you're in the ethereal plane of mathematics, we have to talk about categories. You've lost me so much. Tuples are a thing in math notation. It's one of the most common ways to return multiple data, but even more commonly, you just have two different functions to return the two different values in the structure. Oh, yeah. I guess. So rather than having a unified data type, you've got your multiple data types together and you just act upon them in, well, parallel, I guess, if you want to. You could probably do parallelism pretty easily if you're not running a state machine. So yeah, I guess in theory, if your RAM is like an infinite sketchbook, actually no. Sorry, not RAM, because that's assuming state. You need lots of RAM. No. Assuming you have like unlimited cores to just like churn through all of these problems forever. Tuple return values are more useful in computer programs, so there's a sense of duplicate work, but in pure math notation, you just write two different functions because duplicate work is fine. Yeah, that's another thing. Math notation is perfectly fine, just like reusing work, or sorry, completely discarding work and starting from scratch for the sake of the purity of the function. But of course, that is so insanely unoptimal in like a lot of practical applications. Like, no, you don't really want to be doing duplicate work. And look, if you can find out a way to like chop out some of that work, you know, have some common function. I don't know, even then, unless the input values are identical, you would still need to do the same thing. It's tricky. It's tricky. Nothing forbids your pure math function to be defined on a domain that's a Cartesian product of multiple sets, i.e. the multiple domains of your return values. Yeah. My brain is struggling here, but I am trying to follow. Yeah, it's wild. Trying to translate that stuff. And that's something that, like, again, really threw me for this module we're doing at the moment. It's like translating math notation to code is often really fucking difficult because they operate kind of in two different realms. It's kind of, it's very strange. Assume a perfectly spherical frictionless RAM. Oh, I keep on turning the wrong direction. Here we go. Uh-huh. That's my shit. There we go. Bada bing. Excellent. Came all the way to France for this privilege. Ooh, 11,000 to Amsterdam. That'd be a good final trip for today. And look at that! We're like so back in the green. Might even be able to pay off my debt soon. Oh my god, I love channel points from watch streaks. Why'd you have to respond like that? Oh, good, we're already here. Assuming the RAM is a possibly rotating sphere of zero radius and infinite density. Assuming the price of RAM is rounded to the nearest 1,000. Oh god, yeah, how the fuck would you define... Yeah, you would literally define memory, like computer memory in math notation as just like a really long... Would you define it as a set? Well, no, because duplicate values, right? Also, hello, Burger Crime. Welcome, welcome. Sodi, I'm blowing you up, and we're going to time you out for a million years. Computer memory is a vector. Ah, vectors and sets. Those are the differences, yes. A vector can hold duplicate values. A set cannot. That's the diff. Yeah, because I knew there was some way to store multiple things. Yeah. Scalars, vectors, and matrices. And everything else beyond that is basically irrelevant IMO. Or lambda calculus for side of the board. You need to learn about the Turing machine. I'm aware of the Turing machine experiments, but Not much more than that. Are you gonna let me through, or like, what's up? Oh, no, you're just gonna go the same direction. Sure, whatever. Oh, tensors! Tensors are collections of matrices. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Every CPU cycle is a linear operation. Oh, I am thinking of the Turing test. Yes, that is what I am referring to. Okay, in that case, yeah, I probably don't know about the Turing machine necessarily. Okay, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Girl, they ID'd me for wine. That's huge, actually. The state machine is fairly easy. I just explained it as best I could. So imagine a machine that... Oh, and it's just gone out of my chat history now. Imagine a machine that has infinite memory and acts on a symbol given next to it. These symbols can be as simple as go to the next symbol. There you go. Oh. So when people say Turing complete, that's what they're referring to? I guess. That makes sense. Don't go outside. It's just like the emulator. No, wine is not an emulator. Essentially, yeah, it is able to make a Turing machine. Interesting. The biggest brain explosion moment is knowing that it was proven that everything can be computed. Everything that can be computed is a program on that machine. It was proven that everything that can be computed is a program. Oh, almost like, what is it? The Library of Babel or something? That has like every possible combination of everything, basically, in its books. Puta fucking bitch. Let me through! Let me through! I want to overtake you! Can I go further with this? Probably. I'll risk it. Oh, we're risking it all the way. We're risking it all the way. See ya, man! Wine does not emulate, no. Wine is a translation layer. In fact, I don't know if there is any... Because think of it this way. Emulation would be like an architectural... emulation. Wine would just be translating stuff. Something like FEX would be an emulator. We're gonna keep going, actually. This is a good idea. This is very safe. Yeah, baby. Easy peasy. Turing complete typically means given infinite memory could implement a Turing machine, and therefore it can compute everything, because a Turing machine can compute everything computable, and implementing a Turing machine is a simple way to prove that about any other system. Recursion hurts my brain. Doesn't it just implement Win32 APIs? I think it has a lot more stuff on top of that, but that is a pretty big part of how Wine works. As I understand it, anyway. Implements Win32 APIs with, like a Linux equivalent on the other side. Oh boy. Yeah, that's fine. Proton works by translating DX12 to Vulkan. If I understand correctly, Proton is Wine with the extensions of DXVK. And that's part of why it was like in collaboration with Codeweavers, because Crossover was already doing this. They already had DXVK implemented. Or VK D3D, yeah. Yeah, so it's a combination of the two, and then Valve's probably got their own like special sauce on top, which is probably how things like, you know, anti-cheats might work in some situations. Already have you won wigs? No. Actually, I've tried them. Did not enjoy them. Will you wear wigs? Probably not. Well, not anytime soon. When will you wear wigs? Every fucking time. Something I do wonder, we're kind of going back into quantum mechanics a little bit, but the mention of Conway's Game of Life brought it to mind. Given infinite memory, once again. Okay, can a mod handle that, please? It's a very long message, just got auto-modded. Thank you, whoever did that. Probably Claire. Appreciate. What was I going to say? Yeah. Given infinite memory, and we won't even say infinite compute because the speed of this isn't necessarily as critical as fitting it all in the first place.
It's time to drink water.
Shit! Well, I guess we gotta do that first. You know the deal. It's time to drink water. If you have water with you, you should drink it. And if you don't have water, you should go get some because water is good for you. And I'm gonna drink to that while driving 30 over the speed limit on a highway. Woohoo! Very good. I love water. Oh my god. This is fine. Speed offense. Oh no, I turned off traffic violations, Claire. They were pissing me off too much, and I wasn't getting enough jobs done. Look how much money I'm making now, though. It's great. I'm gonna be like over 40 grand after this, actually. It's gonna be pretty sick. My employee is helping quite a bit towards that. Oh, so you're cheating? Sure, whatever you want to call it. Cheating the law. I was saying, oh yeah, given infinite memory, right? Just infinite memory, like that Turing machine from earlier, right? Given infinite memory, could one... I mean, this is a classic thought experiment. Could one simulate the universe? And I think one of the big problems with the current thought experiment is we do not yet understand how the universe actually works. Like when I started talking about quantum mechanics stuff, like one of the underpinning things was like, oh, well, electrons can just like be in any kind of state until we observe it. And otherwise it's extremely inconsistent. That is a pretty surefire sign that we do not understand how this shit works. We can try and harness the madness, but we still do not understand how it fundamentally works. But let's say, just bare level basics, that wave theory from earlier, right? Where everything, including all matter, all energy, all matter, everything is just waves, right? Let's say we go off of that. If everything is just waves, could you say... we'll think of it almost like pixels, I guess. Where, say, every pixel, every little block, this, like, minimal block of memory, we'll say it's, like, maybe a floating point number or something. And that has a wave... not a wave, but let's say some energy value, and those energy values will like spread out towards other blocks and stuff like that. So assuming infinite memory, and you just had infinite of, well, maybe not infinite, because we don't actually know if that's the case for our universe, but fuck it, for the sake of argument, we'll say infinite. You have these infinite memory blocks with infinite floating point numbers, and you use that to essentially just run a massive, I guess, like... particle simulation in a set, not particle simulation actually, a wave simulation, infinite wave simulation. Could you in theory create the universe? I don't know, hard to say. If we're to go off like the Big Bang Theory where everything starts from like a single point just exploding, and it's like the whole universe comes from that point, just cascades out in the infinite, right? How do you store the universe, the oncoming universe, in that one little bit? Because one would imagine if you're just cascading the whole universe from like a single pixel, it would be fairly deterministic, but also kind of boring. Like, one would imagine that the radius surrounding it would be pretty much the same in any direction. Like, it's just going to cascade in its own little direction. You need to, like, have some sort of... Either it's more than just a single point, or there's some more information encoded in that. Oh, another $2,000. Okay, our driver's actually pulling in quite a bit. This is good. But yeah, there's some more information encoded in there, like a random seed, basically, that causes that stuff to happen. But also, it feels wrong to encode random, or it's not, no. Encoding random stuff, I guess, would be fine. But to have non-deterministic randomness occur seems like that would be not great. I would break a lot of other things. So, like, okay, let's say the impact of a pressure from a wave moving to the next pixel, that shouldn't be influenced by random values, I would think. That seems like that would be a bit short-sighted. I feel like it should, that pattern should be deterministic, but the outcome should still be influenced by that random seed somehow, in unique ways. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm seeing talks about, like, the executable linked format right now, which is a very different discussion. Oh, we're talking about programming languages? Talking about A and B? Do I have permission to nerd emoji? That has been this entire fucking stream, honestly, Claire. If you were to nerd emoji, it would only be too late. Also, imagine not being fascinated by quantum mechanics, nerd emoji. Mods air jail Claire. I am the mods. Come on, little traffic light. There we go. The zoom is cool. There is so much detail to these vehicles, actually. I can't remember. Did I buy this truck new? 11,000 kilometers mileage, but that is very likely all my own mileage. That seems about apt for the amount of driving I've done. Can't time out another mod. I was gonna time her out for 1 second as air jail. Crazy. Right. And we go over here. And there you go. Now you reverse. Nice and easy. I say nice and easy. I'm just fucking sending it because, you know, it's gonna be butter. Bada fucking bing. I can't warn Julia for being feline phobic. Crazy. Level 16. That's actually really good. Actually. Because that does mean I have access to a lot of new cosmetics. Thinking of it. And really quick. Truck dealers. Oh, right. I need to own 6. Do I have to buy 6 trucks from that? I need to own 5 trucks. Sure, whatever. Yeah, I could actually afford something like kind of all right off the used market. Like if I wanted to get this one for some reason with like shitloads of mileage. Jesus, no fucking wonder the other one barely worked. This is half the mileage. It is a miracle that worked at all. Oh, you actually get to see the wear here. Wow, the wear is fucking terrible on these. I am assuming the reason that it was throwing a hissy fit at me earlier was because there were parts with wear 20% or over. In this case, it was the cabin. Maybe 20% of the threshold, maybe 15 is the threshold, but either way, I think that's what the problem was. So we just gotta, like, not have that happen. Interesting thought, though. Driver manager. How is our guy doing? Actually getting shit done. Let's go. 1.1 grand a day. 14 grand a day. I'm a little bit better. Just a little bit better. The profit per distance is still terrible. Yeah, that makes sense. It has been a fixer-upper. Interesting. Can I skill you up? Oh, wait, nah, that's just what you prioritize for. Interesting. All right. Driving replacement with a better driver. Oh, true. Just fire him and get a new guy. They're all pretty terrible, actually. Yeah. They just hire the cheapest driver and level them up. Yeah, figured. New upgrades available. What have we got? No, actually, let me just because we're back home anyway, so might as well. They eventually get to 5-star drivers. Yeah. Had a feeling. Definitely want a woman on the team. We need some DEI going on here. 50 bits! Thank you. With the pride flags. Massive. Massive. Truck configurator. We do have the option to get a better engine with slightly more horsepower. Do we send it or do we wait until the level 18 engine? I'm thinking I just do that because it's going to be a bit till we get to that anyway. So it's whatever. Are there any benefits to me doing this? Maneuverability, heavy cargo, and even terrain. That's really good for heavy cargo. Why is that? Oh, well, it has the extra wheel for one. That probably helps a lot. 100 bangers! That's crazy. Thank you. Appreciate it. This one kind of sucks the normal cargo, but it's great for heavy. Yeah, I'll just go for like the standard chassis. That's fine. I don't think there's any benefit in me getting these different cabin sizes. It's kind of whatever. Oh, and it does actually, it does break the cosmetics a little bit. So yeah, it's just a bad idea. Mods changed Claire's legal name to Claire Obscure and forced them to suffer sharing a name with a popular video game. Fucked up. Going to ECS from Snow and I get surprised there's traffic on the road. Yeah, do you see we're actually going to be playing SnowRunner on Saturday. It's gonna be fun. Oh my god. Good grief. Does this improve much? Changes gears, I guess. Is there any benefit to me upgrading the transmission? Slightly better. Don't know if it's worth the 30 grand I'd be paying for it though. Oh my fucking god, guys. What are you doing? Good grief. Alright, I guess we're hype training now. Fuck it. Single player, multiplayer? I forgot that there's multiplayer, so I guess single player? That was the plan. Oh yeah, I have access to new dashes. Yeah, there's some pretty, like, sexy ones too. Not going to UK one, no thanks. Can I filter to... Oh, not really. Hexagon, the 2025. Oh yeah, where it just, like, pulls out the parking brake for no good reason. Classic. Argenta 2025. Natura. Crazy. Claire, thank you for the tier 1 gift. Appreciate it. So stupid. I guess this is what we're doing this stream. I do like the Natura. It does look pretty sleek. I don't know if it's worth the upgrade right now though, so I'm probably gonna leave that. Leave the chassis. Well, we have to keep the paint job. That's not going anywhere. Accessories. Are there any other neat accessories I can get that's worth it? Okay, the oak leather is kind of sexy, not gonna lie. What is up with this order? What am I paying for? What? Clear order. Yeah. There we go. Standard. Black leather. Oak leather. That is a sexy wheel. I'm not gonna lie. I might go for that wheel, honestly. It's a nice wheel. I'll treat myself a little bit. We won't bother with the engine right now. I do have access to this, but I don't know if it's, like, worth it. Can anyone experienced with transmissions tell me if this is, like, worth the money I'd be spending on it? For the best transmission possible. Trans is worth it. True. Spend more money on your trans. It'll be great. Best for what? Heavy cargo? Just if it's, like, worth the investments, you know? Like, I'm not upgrading engine right now, but, like... Oh, for God's sake, it's adding to my order again. It's like if I were to go for the best transmission available and I upgrade to this fancy oak leather wheel, that would cost me, like, 15 grand. I mean, I could afford it. Look at the right side. It shows a shit ton of improvement for everything. It does show improvements, but, like, meaningful, I guess? Like, this only really changes gears and whether or not it has a retarder or not. But supposedly it's better? Yeah, it's very meaningful. Your engine will feel like a slug without proper transmission. Alright, fuck it. Cool. Trailer configurator. I think my trailer is fine. I'm certainly not gonna, like, change it too much. Refrigerated. I imagine it's not necessary, so I'll leave it for now. I don't think this really improves, like, any of the specs in, like, a super meaningful way. That's a tiny little thing. 2 axles spread. Interesting. Level 23 trailer. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we'll clear that order. Oh my fucking god, what is happening? Thank you very much for the bits. I don't know what we're doing right now, but I appreciate it. Cool. Oh, trailer damage. Oh, it's just like repairs. Yeah. Or sorry, it's wear. That's fine. We can live with that. I love how the wheels have already got 2% wear. I replaced these like recently. That's crazy. Hey, at least it's 5-star though. Trade-in value on this would be crazy, but I probably never will. I like this truck way too much. All right, let's see how it feels. Whoa, okay, yeah, it goes up gears real fucking fast. This might be kind of crazy for like those stops at traffic lights and whatever. Interesting. Yeah, it goes up to speed limit pretty fast. I will lend you that. That is pretty nice. Thank you. Fucking Julia with the 5 gifted. Hey, no, Amber has one. Lovely. Thank you very much, Julia. Always wear my gear sizes. I am not. Decidedly not. Hooray! Gifts! Oh. My lights just turned off, which probably means my phone's about to alarm at some point. Where is it? My phone is there. I don't know why it's not going off. Oh. We'll probably want to... Can we... Yeah. There are. We'll rest up. Delightful. I will just park on in here real quick. That was close. Delightful. Cool. Oh yeah, it only fits 3 slots. I didn't think about that. Should I just hire a second guy now? Actually, wait, no, sorry. I don't want to do that. I still have debts to pay off. In fact, get the fuck out of here. Cool. That shouldn't take too long to pay. That would be like 1 or 2 more streams, and then that's easily paid off. No problem. Delightful. I can borrow a lot of fucking money. Jesus. The temptation. It is a funny temptation, but I really don't like owing things. Especially not like multiple things. It's kind of ass, so I just won't. I already have this. Cool. Right. My truck is pretty damn specced out. We will save from here. We're back in the green, everyone. We're still paying off loans, but we are in the green. And that's really good. Think of all the drivers you could hire. I can hire 1 in my current garage capacity, but that would be cool. Quit the game. Take a pause. You can always return later. Oh boy, you know I will. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Level 3 hype train too. My goodness. V-Star Gate, welcome. Hello. We are just wrapping up, unfortunately, but that was a good time. Lot of progress. We made a lot of money. I went very fast. That certainly helped me make a lot of money, and gave my truck a whole lot of really nice upgrades, which should make future trips a lot easier to do. So that'll be cool. Can't wait for next Monday. Neither can I. I love trucking. I love trucking on Mondays. My favorite. A Monday staple, and it shall remain that way for a while. Yeah, as for the rest of the week on Wednesday for anyone who didn't see the schedule posted. So we did Truck Simulator 2 today. We're going to be playing Little Inferno, 7 p.m. UTC on Wednesday. And we're going to be starting SnowRunner on 7 p.m. on Saturday. Should be a fun time. Quick summer water redeem. I already have the water in my hands because I'm actually kind of thirsty as it is. I don't know what the cooldowns are on that redeem though. Right. It's on cooldown. Am I even able to? It's on cooldown for 5 minutes. Oh dear. I'll give you a head start. Well, that would do it. Oh my god. Thank you so much, Amber. Fucking 5 gifted. Holy shit. That is so awesome. Appreciate the fuck out of that. Oh, cool. Coda's got a sub now. That's neat. The water's cooling down. Fuck you, making ice. Yes. All right. I think that's it for tonight. We've been here nearly 2.5 hours, and I gotta have food. I'm hungry. Still don't get how I was given a sub. You were here, and I think most of us have subs. We have some very, very generous people here who gift subs out like fucking crazy. So yeah, most of the people in chat right now have a subscription, and I think it prioritizes current viewers. That's pretty funny. Let me actually check. What is the sub goal at? I don't know what that says from my dashboard alone. Manage goals. Oh yeah, 102 out of 150. Awesome. Very cool. Jeez, yeah, there's so many. There's so many. 100. And that's just like in this period, I think. Is this? I don't think that's lifetime. I think lifetime subs are like a bit more than that. Oh, that's funny. We're 1 away from the follower goal. That's sweet. Right. Well, anyways, on that note, we're going to wrap it up from here. Everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, we'll be back on Wednesday with Little Inferno, maybe wrapping up Little Inferno even. And Saturday we'll be starting SnowRunner, which, as I've been told, is your truck simulator, but a lot more off-road and with winter scenes, which will bode well for the December schedule. But yeah, that is all. Everyone have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is you hail from. I appreciate you stopping by. And that is all. Bye-bye!